All right, this is lesson 5, power of a power and zero exponents. So we've gone over the quotient rule and the product rule. So the product rule, if you are multiplying exponents with the same base, you're going to add the exponents. And the quotient rule says if you are dividing exponents with the same base, you're going to subtract the exponents. Well, the power of a product law says if we're raising a power to another power, you can multiply the exponents. So the example for this here is 4 squared cubed is the same as 4 squared times 4 squared times 4 squared. Now that's just the product law a couple of times. So this ends up being 4, 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 4 with an exponent 6. 3, 5 squared is that, and that ends up being 3, and then you're going to add the exponents. So 3 with an exponent 10. And the last one here, this is 2 to the power 4 repeated 5 times. And what you do here is you're going to add those exponents. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, which ends up being 2 with an exponent 20. Well, this is a lot of work. So the quicker way is just to multiply the two exponents. So 7, 3 times 4 becomes 7 with an exponent 12. This becomes 8 times 5, which is exponent 40. This becomes 4 times 2, which is 8. And this becomes 5, negative 3 times negative 2, which is 5, positive 6 as the exponent. Now a zero exponent, we know that anything divided by itself is 1. And if we use our quotient law knowledge, we're going to subtract these two exponents, which is 2 to the power 2 with the exponent 0. Well, we just said that this is equal to 1, and we've changed the form, but it still has to equal, it still has the same value of 1. This as a quotient law is 3, 4 minus 4, which is 3 with exponent 0, but we know that to be 1. So anything with an exponent of 0 is equal to 1, except for this case, which is undefined. So let's do a couple more examples here. This is base 2, exponent 0, that's got to equal 1. Really big number, exponent 0, still 1. This becomes 4 times 0, which is 3 to the 0, still 1. This becomes y to the 0, still 1, folks. Simplify, then evaluate. So here we have to use our product law. So we are going to add those two. So that becomes 4, 7 squared minus, and again we're going to use the product law, 2, 7 cubed. Now because these are different bases, you cannot just add them or use the product law or the quotient law or anything. So you actually have to evaluate it. And so this becomes 4 to the exponent 14 minus 2 exponent 21. And if you actually type this out in your calculator, you get a very large number of that. This is the quotient law, so you're going to subtract the exponents. So this becomes 7 minus 3 cubed minus 6, 7 minus 4 to the 0.
Allison Corson, please go to the Career Center.
So we can simplify this. 2 to the power 4 cubed. Now this is all to the exponent 0, so it's just minus 1. Now 2, 4 times 3 minus 1, that becomes 2 to the 12th exponent minus 1, and 2 to the 12th is 4096 minus 1 gives us an answer of 4095. Let's simplify our brackets first. So this becomes 18 squared plus 2 cubed exponent 4. We're going to use the product law, or power of a power law rather. So this becomes 18 squared plus 2 12. And if we evaluate this on the calculator, you get 4,420. So a couple PAT questions here. All right. The exponent law, power of power law, says we can apply this here. So this becomes 3/6 times 2 cubed. Well, that's just right there. Here's another example. Let's use let's go over the question first. If n equals 2, so that means you're going to be substituting 2 in for all of these n's and evaluating it, which seems like a ton of work to me. So let's use something a little bit more strategic. We want to figure out which one comes to the biggest number. So the first part here, let's use our product law. So that becomes n7 over n4. And then let's use the quotient law. We get n cubed. Again, let's use the product law. This is n5 on top divided by n. And then the quotient law says we subtract those exponents, so we get n4. The power of a power law says we multiply those two, so that's n6 over n. The quotient law says we subtract 1 from 6, so that's n5. Power of power law says we multiply those two, so that's n10 over n4. And the quotient law says we subtract. 10 minus 4 is n6. Well, n6 is the biggest power, so that has to yield the largest result.